You want to sell more, and you've probably watched all my other videos on conversion, but things maybe are not still going the right way. Well, let's see what other clothing brands are actually doing that we can actually maybe steal. So first, let's load White Fox. White Fox, by show of hands, you in the audience, how many of you think that this website at a glance right now is very busy? Yeah, it looks a little bit busy. The more I thought about it, it's like, well, this is actually aimed more for, you know, Gen Zers. I wouldn't say Gen Alpha because they're too young, but Gen Zers where you're constantly fighting for attention. And this is, I think, exactly what they're doing here. They're sort of stuffing it with a lot of different information, a lot of different things, and trying to say, hey, look at this. Hey, look at this over here. Hey, look at this over here. So there's a lot of that really going on with this website, but there's still a subtle few things that I think that really would work for really anyone. Number one being movement. Right when you land here on the homepage, there is a little bit of movement. And to be honest, try to shy away from big videos on the hero section right here. But the way that they've done this is actually really smart because they're still taking the sort of portrait version of what you would shoot with an iPhone, inserting it right within here and still making it blend really well. So they don't have a nice big video. And technically, and Franklin and I were actually looking at this and how it's made, this is actually this whole image, it looks like a big image. That's the whole video. So, but the only thing that they've sort of animated within the video is that particular section right there. Everything else is just sort of on top of it. It works as a graphic, if you will. It's sort of a blend of the best of both worlds, if you will. You still have a little bit of movement. It's not huge where it will, you know, bog down the website, and it still has those elements. And the best thing about it, you hover over the whole thing and the whole thing is clickable. Something that I don't like, and they have that shop now right here, but it doesn't look like a button. That would be something that I would highly recommend you to do is even if you do a graphic like this or a video like this, have a call to action and have it actually look like a button so that you know that you can actually click on that. But I'm glad that at least they have the words shop now right within here. Something else that they're doing that at a glance, you're looking at this, and again, we haven't even scrolled down or anything. We're staying on within the homepage above the fold right here within White Fox. And that is that 2.2M at the top corner right there. And they had that Instagram logo right there. That's a very smart thing to do, especially if you are absolutely killing it on any social media platform out there. This is kind of like bragging, right? Like you're bragging a little bit about how many followers you have on Instagram. It sort of legitimizes you. Even if you know nothing about this brand, you land here for the very first time, you've seen 2.2 million followers right there on Instagram. It tells you like, whoa, you know, they must be doing something right. So anytime that you can do a little bit of what we call social proof, right? Having reviews, showcasing your customers wearing your items, or at this rate, just literally highlighting the fact that you have 2.2 million followers. Those are things that I would highly, highly suggest to do right here within the homepage. And obviously for them, it's not just the homepage, it's every single page on the website. The other thing that I like that, again, a lot of people may not do, and I wasn't a huge fan of the fact that they have 3 different announcements right here at the very top. But what I do like about them is that you can actually click on them and it actually takes you somewhere. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see is like you have an announcement at the very top. You may be promoting free shipping. You may be promoting some kind of sale that is currently going on right now. But then there is nothing for the customer to do after they read that, right? A lot of times they may need a little bit more information, or they just want to be taken to the actual collection page that has that particular offer, right? So the fact that they're doing those announcement boards, but they also have it linked is really, really good. Something that I don't like, just kind of give you a nice little good balance, is how many links they have within their navigation. I think this is something that they'll definitely need to look into and maybe fix. But I mean, I think it's categorized well. It's just they have a lot, you know, they have a lot of different things. Every single one of these drop downs is also very different, right? Some of them have images, some of them have multiple images, some of them have highlighted collections. So it could just be, I mean, this one right here, the whole clothing, like it could be very daunting, right? To kind of see this, or for a customer to know where do I need to go exactly. But again, in the grand scheme of things, I think they do a good job of categorizing everything. Hey, if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. Now we saw a Gen Z website, right? Let's look at something that is a little bit more calm, a little bit of a different type of pace, if you will. This is Girlfriend Collective, aka girlfriend.com. At a glance, it just looks very simple, looks basic. Something that I do enjoy right here, and this is something that we consider a best practice, so if you're not doing this, make sure that you do this, is any link that's right here, what we call the top navigation, it should take you directly to actual products or collections of products. And that's exactly what they're doing here. But they also did a little sneaky hamburger menu on the left-hand side where they do the about, community, and fabric guide, some other things in here. So again, still things that are, I think, relevant, right, for the customer in terms of informing them of other things that you may offer. But again, they're not putting in here the privacy policy and all those other things that the customer just doesn't need right now. So I think the way that they did that is actually very, very smart. They still are keeping up with the best practice, but still very sneakily adding that on the left-hand side. You can see announcement bar has links, shout out. Now, we talk about trust badges a lot in this channel, and we tend to see those trust badges towards the bottom and the footer, and they're talking more about the brand as a whole. A lot of times it's just the free shipping, the fact that you do returns, and trying to inform the customer of how you operate as a business. But they sort of flipped the script on this, and they've added a trust badge section at the very top, right underneath that hero section, where they actually talk a little bit more in depth about who they are as a brand on the core of who they are. So recycled materials, closed loop manufacturing, social accountability and third-party certifications, and design for all sizes, XX to 6XL. So at a glance, you can see like, okay, these guys are different, right? And I think that's exactly the message that they're trying to portray right here within their website. So the same thing that I would say to you, like, you know, you may have thought about a trust badge section just like as everyone else has, right? Sort of like the typical things that you would see. But if you have things that truly make you this unique, then I implore them for having this section and having this section so high up on the page. Because you as a merchant, right, you have the responsibility to inform your customers on who you are, what makes you unique, and doing it right here, I think it's just a great way to do it. And they don't stop there, obviously. They still showcase some products, right, which is something that we always recommend. But then they go a little bit more in depth about the brand, again, showcasing more products, social proof, more in depth on the brand, more in depth on the brand. So they have, I think, more information about the brand than they do products right here within the homepage, which is a lot of times, you know, kind of like the opposite of what we recommend. But again, if your brand is like Girlfriend Collective, where this kind of stuff is, I would say, even more important than even selling, it's like it's the DNA of the brand, then you need to do a really good job on the homepage to tell that to the consumer. Otherwise, they're not gonna know. So I applaud them for taking this approach right here within the homepage. All they're doing really is just highlighting bestsellers, and everything else is more almost information about the brand and what makes them different. Now with MadeWell, something that really stood out to me when I went through their homepage is the use of what I would call a hero section, right? A lot of times we talk about hero sections, and this right here is a hero section. Typically you see those at the very top of the website, but with MadeWell, and technically I think maybe Vici or Lane 201, like they do the same thing where they use the hero section multiple times on your homepage. So you can think about that for your own brand, where, as you can see right here, they have this big hero section. It looks like a lot of tiny images, but it's just one big graphic right here. You scroll down a little bit, you have another big graphic right here. You scroll down a little bit, another big graphic right here. Scroll down a little bit, another big graphic right here. So they're still highlighting different things, different collections, new arrivals, the fact that you can actually trade in your jeans, awesome, right here within the homepage. And they're sort of filling out the homepage in a way that it just feels very big and airy, right? You don't have a lot of sort of tiny sections and this over here and this over there. They're using these big images, I think, to their advantage. It looks very clean still, it looks modern, but again, it's one of those things where you might be able to test out, you know, within your homepage, trying out multiple hero sections within your homepage. The other thing I did want to talk about here, and not a lot of brands are doing this, and if you do cater to both men and women, this right here is going to be very important. When you sign up your customers, knowing on the front end whether they're men or women, and obviously not just capturing that information, but then actually using it right within your emails, and have two different categories of emails that you send, one for men and one for women, or maybe a combination of both as well, right? So that communication can be sort of split evenly for the customer. So this right here is something that I don't see a lot of, and obviously there's certain brands that cater to both men and women, but knowing this from the get-go is going to be very, very beneficial. And stick around for this last website, because they take this to the next level, which is really awesome to see. So be on the lookout for that one. Then the last thing that I want to say about MadeWell and their homepage is the photo aesthetics, right? That's something that we don't talk a whole lot about this, but it makes sense to talk about it for MadeWell because they are relying on just big image sections right here within their homepage. And as you can see, there's a difference between product imagery, right? It looks a certain way versus sort of like this type of imagery. Like it's still, everything feels like it's from the same person, the same brand. And at the same time, it has a certain aesthetic to it that just looks very nice. So this is one of those things where when you're taking product photography, it's always going to be good to then still do a little bit of a shoot like this, where you're still taking product photography, but you're twisting it up a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting for sections like this, right? If you were to put this section together using these two images, this section will look completely different, right? It won't have the same feeling that you get from looking at these two photographs. This is going a little bit more into the stylization of the photo shoot versus this right here, which is just your literally plain Jane product photo shoot with a clean cut white background. Sometimes the model's looking at the camera, sometimes they're not. But this right here is more like the editorial type of content that you want to make sure that you take for sections like this in your homepage. Your homepage, trust me, it will look completely different if the next photo shoot section that you have, you actually take a few images like this out in the open, maybe reading a book, the library, just doing something fun, more lifestyle. Now, before I go to the last one, I do want to mention our website VIP Day service. This is where we design your website in one day. If you want more information about that, you can see it right here in the description. So we have All Saints, allsaints.com. If you go to their homepage, I think the very first time actually that you go to the homepage, this is all you will see. It's literally almost nothing, which I thought it was very interesting. It literally captured my attention when I saw this. And what I really actually like about it is that they don't know who you are, right? They don't know if you are a man or if you're a woman, or neither. But the idea here is that you land here on the first time, and this is all you're sort of presented with, is you either shop women or you shop men. And then you scroll down a little bit, you get a little bit more information about the brand, and you get that, you know, the trust badges right here, and then the footer, and that's sort of about it. But the beauty of it is that they want to know who you are so that they can sort of present to you, right, that real homepage. So if I actually go and do men's, you'll see that then we kind of get into this homepage looking thing, right? It has a hero section, it has some links to products, it has shop new, again, highlighting some collections, highlighting bestsellers, and then so you go to shop men's and then it actually takes you to the real homepage, but a homepage dedicated and personalized to the actual customer who came here for the first time. The cool thing about it is that if I go to this product and I'm checking this out, and then I go back to the homepage, right? And the way that you go back to the homepage is you just click on the logo, right? You go back to the homepage. No, don't go back to the homepage. You go back to where you first clicked, right? You are a man shopping for men's clothing. So if you go to the homepage, you'll be taken back to the men's homepage, if you will, not that first splash page that we saw. And to be honest, like, I don't even know if I can go back to it because it probably just remembers from my browser. So it's kind of interesting, right? That first homepage experience, it's more to try to tell who you are. Either you're shopping for women or you're shopping for men. And from there on, the experience that the customer gets is a little bit more personalized. So I told you I wasn't gonna, yeah, this is good stuff. This is something that is truly unique and not a whole lot of people are doing. And having dedicated experiences or even sort of landing pages, right? Dedicated for different subsets of your customers, it's definitely going to be a lot better. 2024 it's going to be, I mean, I think this past couple years have been really good in personalization, but I think personalization on the websites maybe lagged a little bit, and seeing things like this, it makes me very excited because I would love to see more of this on more websites, and that's why we're watching this video, so you can implement things like this. Now, the homepage is one thing, right? You want inspiration for the homepage, but I think we talked about this before. The product page is really the most important page on your website. So check this video next, which is the top 10 best product pages that I've seen, and what things you can probably steal from those.